everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group, family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode. Now we're starting a new series. We kind of got on this series kick.
Yes.
And I dig it, because that means that just a bunch of them are about the same topic.
Yes.
And this is going to be on our masterminds. And so this is a mastermind series, so we're going to go the next 5 or 6 days, I think six total. Six total. We're going to talk about different masterminds that we've joined, become a part of, either have or are still.
Yep.
And so it was just hey, we should talk about masterminds. Anyway, that's brilliant.
Yes.
So out of all the episodes, out of almost 200 episodes now, I have done one.
That equals 6.
Okay.
Well, and the reason I said it was brilliant is because we're talking about freedom through passive income, and the fact, the road that we're on, the path that we've taken to get where we are, and masterminds over the last couple of years have been a huge part of that, and very much the reason why we are where we are today.
Oh, agreed.
And so I think it's really, really important for you guys to hear like the whole story and what masterminds did we join? Why did we join them? What was the impact that they had on us? And how did they help us get to where we are today? So that's why I got excited about your idea.
Yeah. I mean, and so it's funny. So we had the idea of joining this mastermind that we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
And I had heard from other people about masterminds and people that in business that I looked up to, and they always talked about how masterminds were a waste of time. And all it was just a whole bunch of people getting around, and it's a whole bunch of egos, and everyone doesn't tell anyone what they're doing because they don't want to share their secrets with anyone else. And, it was just a very negative, very, anti-mastermind mentality.
Yes.
But we, we wanted to do this one. We wanted to try it out, we'd heard some great things about it, and that's when you reached out to them. And I'll let you talk about that for a little bit, but then I'll talk about our first experience.
Okay. So when we decided we wanted to, we had used coaches prior to joining masterminds. And we decided, hey, instead of hiring a coach this time, why don't we go ahead and just, get in a mastermind and just see what that's like.
Yeah.
And everything that Flip said is true. We were kind of told, it's not a good idea, but we were going to figure it out for ourselves. That's how we always roll. So I think I looked up and asked some questions and asked people to refer me to a few masterminds, and I got referred, and I talked to, I think, 3 of them. And it just so happened that the one that we chose to join just had this person that was just very authentic, very genuine, very, down to earth and real, really, really asked me, hey, where are you at? I want to make sure that we can help you. So let me understand. It wasn't a sales pitch. It was more of an interview of, can I help you? And if I can, I'm going to offer. And that conversation it was a different shift than the other two, because the other two were sales pitches.
Yeah.
And so that's the type of people that we like to be around, is exactly that mentality. Very genuine, authentic, transparent, down to earth, real, simple. I care about you. And if we're not a fit, then let us show you where else to go. And so it related, and it kicked, and we said yes, and we joined. And just to kind of let the cat out of the bag, this was the very first mastermind that we ever went into, and probably one of our absolute top favorites still is. And I hope that this gentleman creates what I'm going to call the 9-figure mastermind, but it's Bill Allen's group. And Bill Allen has created numerous different groups within this, and he bought 7-figure flipping is the name of the mastermind, but it encompasses so many different masterminds within that company and brand. He bought the brand, and he's built it out and just totally redone it, because he's a Navy pilot, right? And so I don't know which
helicopter,
part.
Helicopter pilot, still pilot.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it was really neat what he was building, and he was building like levels in which you could, if you were new, you could enter here. If you were advanced, you could enter here. And then as we grew, like I told him at one point in time, watching him build these out, I was just like, heck, I never have to leave, right? We can just keep on riding along with you, because you keep grading, and you're one step ahead of us. And so we're just going to keep on following along. And so we'll talk a little bit about that, but do you want to go into the experience?
Yeah. So, and by the way, I said helicopter. He did helicopters when he was in the Navy. Now he flies planes, because he flies.
Right.
He's got his own little right.
I think it's a jet now. Didn't you just buy a jet?
Yeah. He doesn't have to wind it up. Or but yeah, so our first experience was actually in San Diego, and I would just, I was very hesitant, and because of everything that I'd heard, and I remember sitting down at the table, and we're getting ready for the first, for the first session. And I was just trying to get the feel of, what was going on, and two guys sat down at the table. And it was Jansen and Thomas, and they just immediately started talking to each other like, "Oh, hey man, I heard what you did last month or whatever. That's great. Do you mind? Can you share that?" You go, "Oh yeah, here, let me send everything over that I just did, and I like what you're doing." And he's like, "Oh, here, let me send that over to you. I've got a copy of the contract." But it was immediately sharing, and like, well, what can I get for you? What do you need? And I was literally, my jaw just hit the table. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And that was the first 5 minutes, and it just continued to be like that. And everyone was so genuine. Everyone was so nice. I didn't meet at all anyone at any of the events that ever was ego driven, or I'm not telling you anything. I'm not sharing anything with you. None of the people. And so that's that, which speaks volumes of those groups and what Bill's built.
Yes, exactly. And groups like that are usually a reflection of the leader, right? I always believe that. And so
Absolutely.
Bill's done a really, really great job. I'm going to talk about really quickly some of the groups that he has, just so you know, if you're listening to this and you're going to want to join. Runway is the level where you're getting to do your first deal. It's kind of an entry-level group for seven-figure flipping. Altitude is the next group up, and I think these days you get to graduate into Altitude. I think he's really created this really neat kind of ramp up. And then seven-figure multifamily, we were just in that group as well. That was the one that I was like, yes, I'm glad you created this, because it's exactly where we were headed. And he created this group, so it was fantastic. He's got an 8-figure flipping group. It was created after I'd already joined a different group that we're going to talk about on a different episode. So I didn't join that one, but I would have if it had lined up in the timing of when I was actually purchasing something. I was looking for that group, and he was creating it. So really fantastic. He also does big events like Flip Hacking Live.
Which, by the way, I'm trying to trademark that name, Flip Hacking Live. Just kidding.
He's got books out. He's on podcasts. He hosts his own podcasts. He's got a farm now. If you watch him on Facebook, follow him on Facebook. He's got a farm, and he does events. I was messaging him probably a month ago now, talking to him about the Cancun event that we wanted to put on a mastermind. And I was just like, you want to partner with me on this? Because I know you got this down already. And he's like, I think my team would kill me. I think we're putting on 60 plus events. And I'm like, holy cow.
There's only 52 weeks in a year.
I know.
My goodness.
I don't know.
Down.
Yeah, I don't know how he does all he does, but he is pretty incredible. He's created some really incredible groups, and as a result of his leadership, he's created an amazing team. So it's just a trickle down effect of his values and the type of people that he hires. That it's really, really amazing, and I can't wait for that 9-figure group, because that is the next level that I want to be at, and that is the next group that I want to be joining.
Yep.
So I can't talk enough about 7-figure flipping and what Bill has created. Altitude, I had mentioned on these notes here, as far as impact and how it helped me. It's that group, not only their giving and normal experiences, but we happened to be in that group during COVID. And it was also happened to be in that group during the stress of building these companies that was so difficult to build them so fast that I would get on there late at night and I'd just be like, I'm dying, and somebody would reach out and just help and or support or whatever it was. The group is just really, really amazing. So don't do this road alone. That's kind of the point of this mastermind series, is to say, hey, we didn't do this road alone. We wouldn't have gotten to where we are if we tried to do this road alone. So jump on board these groups, whichever one that really connects with you, and we're going to tell you the ones that we love and why we love them. And the first one was 7-figure flipping, because it was the very first one that we joined, and we were a member of Altitude for 2 years, then a member of 7-figure multifamily for another year. And like I said, I'm just waiting for that 9-figure group so I can jump back in.
and I mean, a lot of the people that we met, even on that first day, are still great friends today.
Yes.
And it's like, we've got our own group of the post-mastermind group, and even some of them have been partners on deals with us, and so it's we're not a part of that mastermind anymore, but we are.
We are,
because we still know so many people,
Yeah.
and we're still doing deals with people, and still doing lots of stuff with those people. I see you, Tanya. But so that's what the best part about this one is just it's still people that we talk to today.
Yeah, our very first apartment complex that we bought, we had the confidence to do it because we knew somebody from Seven Figure Altitude that would be able to partner with us and make sure that we're not making any mistakes, right? So the very path that we are on right now and where we are today is a direct result of this group. So really, really super exciting. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a link in the comments that's going to direct you to this team. You can jump on a call, learn more about their programs. We just want to support them because of how much they've helped us. As far as the cost, if you want to know the cost, it's probably going to change all the time, but I'm going to guess in the $20,000 and above is probably what you're looking at.
Pesos?
When you're joining this group. And it's worth every freaking penny. We have made... I couldn't tell you. I would say 10x at least, based on what we've learned. Most importantly, the network that we created and the relationships that we created.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join our investor club to find out all the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. But we're also on the Facebook group and the LinkedIn group and YouTubers and Googles and whatever else is out there.
That's right.
And TikTok. We're even on TikTok.
It's crazy.
I can't believe it. Yeah. But we'd like to end all these episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy.
Bye, everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.